So I finally bought a MacBook Pro for YouTube. I've been using it for a couple days. I have a lot of thoughts. But first, watch this video that I made of me unboxing this thing. There's me. I got the box. I'm showing you the box. But you might be asking, Adrian, the box isn't sealed. You said it's an unboxing. Did I say it? You said it was an unboxing. But in the video, you clearly don't remove the straps from the box that most Apple products come with. Are you lying? Not really. Hold on. Because when I went to the Apple store to buy the MacBook, I asked the lady to swap out the charger for the 96-watt charger, which she said okay, but obviously charged me the extra 20 bucks for it, which is fine. But that does mean she had to unbox the MacBook and then remove the previous charger and then give me the new charger. So that's why it was unsealed. So technically it has been unboxed, but by someone else, not by me, okay? And now I've been using it for a couple days. So this is gonna be my review. So let's get on with the show, shall we? But there's one thing I have to mention. For a bit of context, if you don't know on the channel, I've talked about getting a MacBook before in the past few videos. I was figuring out what I wanted to buy. And I settled on the MacBook Pro M5 Pro, 48 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage. That was the one I decided on. Oh, frick. Hopefully y'all didn't hear that the entire time. Anyway, that was the MacBook that I decided on. But I then decided that I wanted something else. Let me explain. I'm not indecisive, okay? It's just let me explain. Flashback a few days ago. I put in the order for the MacBook Pro M5 Pro, 48 gigs of RAM for 1 terabyte, and the website said it was going to come in say about a couple weeks, which is not fun. I don't like having to wait a couple weeks for just stuff. Call me impatient, whatever, I don't care. The reason why I got this MacBook because I truly believed that this is what I needed. This is the thing that's going to handle all of my video editing work smoothly, seamlessly. It's going to be epic, not even a problem. But after placing the order, I was having like horrific buyer's remorse. Like it was bad. It was like anxiety. It was like I could feel the sting in my wallet and it sucked. And for a couple of days after I placed the order, I refused to check my bank account because it was scary. So much so that I considered canceling just the whole thing. But then later when I was editing my MacBook Air, I realized how fast the Mac Air already was at editing. Like I was just flying, click, like boom, like the edits were getting done like really quickly. So that got me thinking, if the M3 Air is already this fast, how much faster would the M5 Air be? And would I even feel a difference? So then I had to recalibrate my expectations. What was I actually going to be paying for with this new MacBook that I was getting? A ton of extra RAM, a slightly better chip. Luckily, there was a cheaper MacBook that had all the essentials that I did want in a Mac. And that was the MacBook Pro M5 32 chip, 1 terabyte. Compared to the 48 gig model that I was looking at, the prices were vastly different for very minimal changes. And I know that's the deal with Apple products. That's not the point. I guess I was like getting into my head about everything. And I also didn't have a point of reference to know how much these increases in power were. The MacBook Air was my first like Apple computer, so that was my frame of reference. So when you're seeing all these numbers like on the screen, it's hard for me to comprehend like what they actually mean or how they will perform in the future, I guess. I can't visualize that because I don't have much of a frame of reference. But what you might be asking, why didn't I just start at the base MacBook Pro M5 32 gigs? Why didn't I start there? Well, okay, it was more like I just thought like, the extra stuff on the 48 gig model would future-proof like my computer, so that way in the future it'll just handle everything. I don't have to worry about it at all. I mean, I don't know. If it kind of felt like a better deal, I don't know. But at some point I had to check my bank account for other reasons, and I saw that the money hadn't been charged yet. And apparently, I guess I forgot or I didn't know that when you place a big order online on the Apple Store, it takes a while for them to actually do anything. So they hadn't charged my account yet, which is good. And I saw that as like a a huge second chance. So I canceled the order and I picked up a MacBook Pro the next day. Here it is. Here it is, the chunky boy. I was gonna originally go with the space gray, but I did want to differentiate it from my Mac Air. And the black just looks so much cooler and professional. I don't know. What do y'all think? The fingerprint stains are not too bad on the MacBook, and I can live with them anyway. Like, I don't know, this thing just feels pro, even if it's one of the weaker models in the actual lineup. And don't forget, I use the student discount, so I got about 100 or so off the actual retail price, I guess. Even though I'm not a student. And also, if you don't know, Apple has a student discount that you can check out on their website. It'll just take about $100 off of most products, I guess. And then I got home a few days ago with my first ever MacBook Pro. I spent like 5 hours trying to like set up the whole thing. It was lame because I don't know. Why can't they just transfer your stuff? There should be like a better way to transfer your stuff from like one Mac to another. I don't know. The way they did it, the way that I could tell at the very least was just kind of not efficient at all. I don't know. So after using it for 2 days straight already, I have some thoughts. And again, like most of my tech reviews, I'm not a technical person. I don't know the tiny little details, the specs, the core, benchmark, whatever. This is like from one friend to another. This is my experience using the MacBook Pro, and I'm not thinking about, oh, what about the specs? What about this? It's just, does this work and does it get the job done? And would I recommend it to a friend? Think of this video like that. I'll start with the downsides. I do miss the size of the MacBook Air. I miss the form factor of the MacBook Air. It was thin, it was sleek, it was light. The MacBook Pro is kind of not really those things. It's not too thin. I mean, in the camera, it probably kind of looks pretty sleek, but it is thick. I think it's actually double the thickness of the MacBook Air, which is crazy. So yeah, I miss the size of the MacBook Air. This is livable. This is the 14-inch MacBook Pro, and even though it says 14-inch, it's not. Hold on, let me just do the thing. I put the MacBook Pro in the back of the Mac Air, and this is how much bigger it is. I don't know, man. You're gonna feel the weight of the MacBook Pro in your backpack. Like, if you want to know how it feels to have a MacBook Pro in your backpack, just stick a slab of metal in there. It's basically the same thing. All that being said, like, now that I have the actual Pro in my hands, now I know why the MacBook Air dream can never be real. The one piece is real. Like, the MacBook Pro is genuinely like the pro product. Like, if you're gonna, here, let me put it this way. If you're doing like video editing or like higher in terms of like demanding workflows, demanding like tasks, get a Pro. I don't know how demanding photo editing is. I'm not a photographer, but I'm gonna be honest, there's no way that's more intensive than, you know, editing hours long of video. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But if you're not editing like stuff, if you're just like watching YouTube and editing documents and like writing a PDF, get like a MacBook and below. Not even a MacBook, get a Neo. Like, if I didn't have any creative stuff that I needed to do, I'd get a Neo. Like, it edits documents, it watches YouTube, like that is all I really need. Now that the Neo exists, I don't see a need for the MacBook Air to exist. First, you have the Pro products, the true Pro, like the MacBook Pro. But if you're not a professional doing professional work, that just means you're doing very basic stuff on your laptop. So why even go for the Air? They're more expensive. Sure, they're more powerful, but like, do you need the power to edit a document, bro? Like, the MacBook Neo is cheaper and does everything you need it to do as a computer. There's no reason to like upgrade from the Neo to the Air. It's just, the Air is gone, like the freaking Air Nomads, bro. Like, the Fire Nation took them out. Like, the Neo takes the kick, and you could, like, the M3 Air, like, did me good with video editing, so if you really just need a cheaper option for video editing, I guess. But that's why I would call the Air the awkward middle child, because it's a pretty awkward space to be in. The Neo just does everything the Air can do, but it's cheaper. We're gonna see a whole new generation of, like, Apple nerds, like, in the next few years. Watch, trust me, bro, trust me. But yeah, the Neo killed the Air in my eyes. But for the MacBook Pro, despite the negatives of it being bigger and heavier, they're more of necessary costs, because I am paying for the little fans, the extra ports, and stuff like that. And despite all the negatives of the MacBook Pro, yes, we're back on the Pro now. Despite all the negatives, they're kind of just growing on me. Like, I kind of like the little bit bigger screen. I haven't traveled with this MacBook yet, so I don't know how well it's going to perform or do. But I'm not too worried about it. I don't know yet. I gotta see for myself. And it is much lighter on the wallet than the first choice. So I mean, hey. And now finally, like the actual pros. This thing is fast. That's it. I've been editing on this thing. It is fast. It is lightning quick. No problem whatsoever. Is it noticeable above the M3 Air? I mean, a little bit, I guess. Like, it's not like noticeable where we're like, whoa, because it's like it's already instant on the Air, but it's like, it's like adding a little bit of sprinkles on top of your ice cream. It's like, ooh, don't mind if I do. And with 32 gigs of RAM, it handles everything, bro. Like, it legit on the Air. I'm constantly like having like at least like 5 gigs of swap being used at any given moment. This thing, I haven't seen any swap be used. So like, the 32 gigs of RAM is perfect. And I've been using it with like a ton of tabs open, right? Like I'm not a big tabs person, but I mean like windows, different windows. I have Premiere Pro, I have a calendar, I have notes, I have this, I have that. The different things that I switch through constantly throughout the editing process, and it handles it all seamlessly. It's not even like an issue. This thing is not even like breaking a sweat. It really only gets a little toasty when I'm actually exporting a video, but when I mean a little toasty, I mean a little toasty. And even then, there's little fans in there too, so I'm not concerned whatsoever about this thing. And especially now that I use proxies, it's a little technical, sorry, I'll be quick. Now that I use proxies, this thing runs, what? Okay, gotta be quick, the camera's gonna overheat. Now that I use proxies, the process is even faster and easier. It's awesome. I booted up Minecraft and it's pretty freaking cool as well. It runs really smoothly. I'm excited to play Minecraft. I'm excited to take it out somewhere and use it. I have not done it yet, but I'm gonna do it soon, hopefully. My only regret is that I didn't get 2 terabytes of storage. But, you know, that's a thing for a different day. I'm just kidding. The 1 terabyte is perfectly fine. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.